Right then, going to have a closer look at my Steyr. I've had this a long time now. It's the Hunting 5 Auto. My longest serving PCP air rifle that I've had. Shot loads of stuff with this gun. It's a brilliant hunting rifle. As you may or may not know, these are a 5-shot stick magazine fed air rifle that work off a biathlon style lever here that cocks it, and then the stick mag goes in there. This is the little 5-shot stick magazines, and basically that just feeds in. There's a little sign there to show you which way around to put your pellets, and that slots into the breech. Once you've cocked it, shove it all the way in, takes a shot, and it automatically cycles it. So as you're shooting, it moves across like that to align them up. They only do them in 5 shots, and from what I can gather, even if you manage to machine a 10-shot version of these, I don't think they would work. I think it will only do 10 shots. As I was saying, I've had this rifle a long time, and I've shot a hellish amount of pellets through this. And if you look at the magazine carefully, let me just focus in a bit better on the mag. You can actually see mark down there, a little scoring mark on the bottom of it, where this magazine's been slid in and out that many times. So as you can see, this has had a lot of use. This rifle. I've shot a heck of a lot of stuff with this gun. If you look at the actual mechanism though, considering how many rounds it's had through it, and it's had thousands upon thousands of rounds through it. It's been out in all weathers. There's nothing. There's no wear on the breech here. Nothing. None of the anodizing's worn away. Nothing at all. It's like brand spanking new, the action of it. There's a tiniest little bit of wear on the anodizing on the cocking lever there. See it around the top where it's been slid in and out the gun bag. But apart from that, nothing at all. There's no wear on the where the magazine slides in. Nothing. These guns really are properly well engineered. You know, they just really are. They're made to last. Beautifully engineered. Yes, they're very expensive, but they're superbly made. You know, when you think there's not many rifles that would put, this is what, probably, I don't know, 3 years old, maybe a bit more, maybe something like that. Anyway, it's getting on, and it has literally had hundreds of thousands of rounds through it, because it's still, even now, you know, I've got far newer rifles that I play with. I've got my Priest, I've got my R5M, I've got my Lishi. But even so, this is still one of the premier hunting rifles that I've got. And in 177, it is an astonishingly good rifle. It's very accurate, right up to the legal limit. And that 5-shot stick mag is fantastic. Yes, it's not got as many shots as a lot of rifles now that you're pumping out 10 and whatnot. And yes, it's not got as many shots as my Pro X, which had 10 shots. Because I don't think it's actually Pro X. I think it's actually Pro 10. And the X is the Roman numeral for 10. So I think it's actually a Pro 10 rather than the Pro X. Everyone calls it a Pro X, but I think it's actually a Pro 10. As in the way that this is a Hunting 5. The numbers referring to the number of pellets that the magazines hold. But yeah, so it's only got 5, but you don't need more than 5. You know, 5 shots fired semi-automatic. Well, self-indexing rather, because it's not a semi-automatic. It's self-indexing. The pellets are fired from the mag. They're not driven into the rifle breech at all. They're fired from the mag. So once that mag's out, you know that there's nothing in the breech. There's no need to worry about thinking there might be a pellet in there, because the only way a pellet can get in there is if you fire the gun. So if you load a mag and then at the end of the day shooting, there's a little lever under here that you press, you push that up and it ejects the magazine. You know that there's no need to worry that you might have left a pellet in the mag in the breech. Not like some magazine rifles where you can eject the magazine, take the magazine out, and there's a possibility that you've actually still got a pellet up the breech, up the spout. But with this, there isn't. Once that mag's out, totally safe. There's nothing can be in the barrel. Beautiful adjustable trigger. Still one of the best manual triggers that I've ever used. Probably bettered only by the electronic trigger that was on my Red Wolf and my Renegade. But certainly when it comes to manual triggers, this is definitely one of the best. Great safety catch, just exactly where you need it. Something that some other rifles could learn from. It's one of my bugbears, that is, to be honest with you. The daft places that they stick safety catches. I'm a bit of a one for leaving the safety catch on until the last minute, and then just before you take the shot, push this forward, bang, fire. It falls so easily. You don't have to grope around looking for it. It's just exactly where you'd want it, really. The only other safety catch that I've seen that's actually possibly better than this, well, there's a couple actually, I'll be honest, is the Uragans, which was in here, and you just push the lever forward. And the best of the lot was on a manual rifle, and that was the on the Walther, where it's at the back here, right where your thumb falls. You just push it forward. So yeah, nice safety catch in the right place. Something that not all PCPs have. Some have them, especially the bullpups. The bullpups are quite common to have the safety catch down here somewhere around your ear hole. It should be near the trigger, somewhere near the trigger, so you can do it easily. And not all of them have that. The Priest has. The Priest's by the trigger, which is handy. And the Leshy's by the trigger, again, handy. The R5M isn't. That is one of the ones that's got it down here somewhere. It's a big lever, so it is easy to find, but nonetheless it would be better if it was by the trigger. The only things after using these for a long time now, shooting this rifle for ages, the only thing really that's proved to be, well, a bit of a pain in the arse, to be honest with you, is the fact that they will not thread the barrels. The barrels aren't threaded for a silencer, and that is so annoying. They're not shrouded, which again, in an ideal world, a shrouded barrel would be much better because it cuts the noise down, but they're not shrouded. But that in itself isn't necessarily a killer. You know, that's not a big deal if they threaded the barrel so you could put a silencer on, but they don't, and you have to buy these rather awful adapters. Now they just push on and they do it with a little Allen key. Horrendous, because the Allen keys are rubbish, the Allen nuts are rubbish, and the heads always go in them because they're always a little tiny thing, and then you can't get the bloody things off. And the other thing, you don't really want to take them off anyway, because once you've got them on, if you take them off, they A, leave a mark where the Allen key presses against them, and B, because they are a fairly tight fit, they end up scratching the end of your barrel. It's not good. And the other thing with these is as well, with this particular one, I've been very fortunate because the barrel alignment with this is very good on this particular one. But I've had horror stories from other people that have had these, and they're a little bit loose, or when they've tightened them up, they move slightly. And of course, if it's not perfectly in alignment with your barrel and you're using a lengthy silencer, you're going to clip the baffles. And all sorts of problems with inaccuracy, disturbing the airflow, all sorts of things. I cannot for the life of me understand why they make such a stunningly amazing rifle with an action that is absolutely beautiful. It's so easy. It's even in manual mode where you just cut, because they do this hunting 5 in a manual where you just cut that lever. Even with that, it's so easy and so quick. It's in such a great place, in such a great shape to cock it. You can load so fast with that. So it's a beautiful design, obviously made to last, because this has fired hundreds of thousands of rounds, never missed a heartbeat. It's brilliant, and it looks like brand spanking new. And then they go and put, you have to make it quiet, you have to put one of these on. It's ridiculous. And it's not, the other thing with it is it's a loud rifle. This is the full length one, and this makes a hell of a crack. The Scout version of this is even louder, and they just won't thread the barrels. Ridiculous. Right, gripe, moan over. Apart from that, everything's fine. As standard, they come with normal dovetails, but they do make a rather nice Picatinny rail that's beautifully finished, as you would expect from Steyr, and it bolts directly into pre-threaded holes in the action block. It's an extra, and it's not cheap, but again, it's a really well made item, very durable, great fit, and in my opinion, well worth having. There's nothing wrong with the dovetails work okay, but I prefer Picatinny rails. So yes, that is an extra, but well worth having in my opinion. It's an expensive extra for what it is. You think it's just a Picatinny rail, they are quite dear, but it is a genuine Steyr part, and it screws straight in. There's no need to drill or put any unsightly sort of grip. You know, it doesn't go from an 11mm to a Picatinny. It screws straight to the top, straight into the action. So it's nice bit extra to put on the rifle. So there it is, Steyr Hunting 5 Auto, my longest serving rifle, and still, despite all the rifles I've had, one of my all-time favourites. Beautiful rifle, well made, looks gorgeous, shoots super accurate, bang on legal limit, and 5-shot self-indexing. So as a hunting rifle, really good. Literally just the one niggling, annoying thing with it is the fact that they don't thread the barrel at the end for a silencer. Other than that, I'd have to say that if I had to pick a rifle, this would probably be right up there. It's just been so good, you know, it really has, and it's fired. I mean, I've done a shed full of shooting with this thing. You've seen from my videos, I'm out a heck of a lot with these rifles. So any rifle I have gets a fair bit of use, gets good testing. I look after them, they're cleaned, maintained every time I go shooting, clean them, check them over, wipe the surface down with a rag, use the Napier stuff. They're in locked cabinets with the Napier rust guard stuff, so they are looked after, but they do work hard as well. And this gun, like I say, not missed a beat. Beautiful looking thing, super accurate, really nice, really well laid out, brilliant trigger, nicely positioned safety catch, even in the manual mode. If you get Hunting 5 manual, just a normal Hunting 5, this is so quick to do. It's so fast to let shots off using that, let alone with the self-indexing facility on the auto version. Even the standard version, phenomenal. Great barrel, free floating all the way down, and it's properly got a really long connection into the action as well, so it's not a sort of free floating barrel. It's only screwed in that far. It runs from there all the way back to the magazine there, so it's properly well bedded into the action of the rifle, but it's nonetheless free flowing, regulated. nice regulator, and all in all, just a really good rifle. Just that one little niggling and annoying thing there, the fact that it's not got a threaded barrel for a silencer. But if you're careful with the adapter and you make sure that it fits properly, then it detracts slightly from the looks of the rifle, and it's certainly not ideal, but you know, it's done me all these years. So great rifle, lovely to use, and it's still even with the leashy, which comes up to the shoulder really quick, because that's what a leashy lives for really. It's a rifle that's for like quick up, quick shot, away we go sort of rifle. But even this shoulders quicker and falls more naturally to the eye, I find, than any rifle I've ever had. Whether that'll be the same for everyone, I doubt it, because obviously it's not got an adjustable cheek piece. It's got an adjustable butt pad, but it's not got an adjustable cheek piece. So maybe it's just me that's lucky. But this comes up to the shoulder like a shotgun or a driven game rifle. It's beautiful. So there you go, Hunting 5 Auto. A quick reminder for anyone that's not seen mine, because I've not made a video on this rifle for a bit. So I thought it was due a bit of a refresher for anyone that's thinking of buying one. Fantastic, really good. It's not a new design now, it's been out a long time, but I still think that it's right up there. I really do. This is one of the few rifles that's brought something completely new to the air gunning scene of recent years. You've got the electronic day states. They brought something new. They've got electronic triggers, and they've got the electronic valving, which was new with the pulsar, and the earlier what do we call it, timber wolf things, the MTC systems. That was a bit of a groundbreaker. And then you've got the little Leshy, which is a bit of a jump forward in small compact rifles, because that thing's tiny, so lightweight, so portable, so tiny, and yet full power, and really, really superbly made rifle, really well engineered. That one I think is another sort of cutting edge rifle, if you like. And then you've got this, which was one of the sort of first well engineered self-indexing rifles that hit the market. But most of the others are just pretty much much of a muchness, really. They're just tweaks on the same theme. You know, if you look at the vast majority of PCP air rifles, the vast majority of them really basically tweaks on the same theme. They don't actually bring anything particularly cutting edge or particularly new to the party. Even the much heralded day state, the new rifle they're bringing out, the Delta Wolf, really, if you look at it closely, basically it's an FX or a Priest with an electronic valve and an electronic trigger, which isn't new. They've had that for ages on the Pulsar and on the earlier MTC equipped rifles, the Mark IV and all of those. So that doesn't bring anything new. It's just a tweak on the old thing. You know, they're making a big deal about the magazines, but it's not rash. It's nothing earth-shattering. It's a magazine. Likewise, the going on about the rail being able to slide up and down on the mount. The Pro X has got that. The Pro X, the Picatinny rail on that slides up and down on a dovetail and slide all the way forward and all the way back. I've seen that on numerous Hatsans. All sorts of rifles have had that, so that's nothing new. There's nothing really that's not a tweak on a theme, if you like. You know, there's nothing that's a tweak on a theme. It's not. If you look at the sheet, it's completely unlike everything else. You can't mistake that rifle for anything else. You just can't. And this is one of the first really well made self-indexing semi-auto air rifles. Again, something that was new and something that was completely different from everything else. Yes, the rest of it's fairly traditional, but it has got that one aspect that no other rifle at the time, in fact very few even now, have got. And then the original electronic valve and electronic triggered day states, again, were at the time bringing something new to the party. But 99% of guns that are released at the moment really are the same thing. It's just a slight tweak. You know, they're saying, oh, it's got a side lever instead of a bolt action, or it's got a bigger bottle, or it's got a different regulator. None of which in the real world makes that much difference. They're going on about the so someone saying how shattering it was, the fact that the Delta Wolf's got these interchangeable barrels that can be done so quick. How much quicker than a Priest can it be? A Priest is one screw and then it just slides out. The Leshy, one screw and it slides out. With that, you don't even have to change the pellet probe, because there is no pellet probe. You know, that goes back years. That's not new by any means. Quick change barrels, they've been around for donkey's years. Webley Mark IIs, Webley Hawks. So that's not new either. So you've got to be careful when they sort of trumpet all these new things. Oh, it's the first rifle with this, or it's a new development, blah, blah, blah. They're not. They're just rehashes of an old theme. There's only very few air rifles that ever come out that have actually got something that you've not seen before on a rifle. Or has not been widely available on a rifle. Steyr Hunting 5 Auto in the UK was the first rifle really to bring in at 12 foot-pounds and a PCP, a self-indexing semi-automatic shooting system. The little Leshy was probably the first rifle of its type to come into the UK that was so compact and light and yet capable of delivering full power in a tiny, tiny package that was really well engineered. And the original day states when they first brought out the electronic valving and the electronic triggers. But pretty much everything else is just same old really, with a tweak here and there. So there you go. Thanks for watching.